Hey everyone. So I want to do something a little bit different today. I want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about one of my favorite YouTubers, who is Tara Simon. Tara Simon is a celebrity vocal coach, and she does a lot of just vocal reactions to different performances. And she gives a lot of different insights, tips, pointers on how to sing better, and how to improve your voice, what different artists do in terms of technique that helps them. She's just a really great vocal coach and reactionary artist as well. Well, artist in her own right, but also she does a bunch of reactions and gives insights vocally into how things can be done and how we can improve our own voice. And I just, as a person who loves music, I really love this. And she released recently her own recording of one of my favorite Christmas songs, probably my favorite Christmas song, at least like top 5, hands down, which is "O Holy Night." And yeah, before we go any further, I think really just for the context of this video, you need to watch that video recording that she did. Not so important is, or not so relevant to this video anyway, is her original recording, but she actually did a reaction of herself. So she kind of took us behind the scenes and gave us a little bit more context behind her own recording of this song. And I don't know if I can include that here as like a little ribbon. If so, it'll be up here. You can just click on it. If not, you might need to find it. I'll provide the link in the description here in this video. But please go ahead and watch that video first, because the rest of what I say is going to be based on that video, so it won't really make much sense if you don't have the context. So go ahead and pause this video and go and watch that first. All right. So what I want to do now is read you the comments that I wrote to this video. And I'm not doing that because I want any type of recognition for what I said or how I said it or how eloquently or anything like this. The reason I want to share this comment is because I want all of you to know how this video made me feel. And then I'll have a couple like ad-lib, like unscripted comments to add to the end yet as well for this video. But I want to springboard off of that because I saw this video and my thoughts and feelings and emotions were just very deep and very strong. And I wrote them all down and I shared them with her because I believe she deserves to hear it. But I also think it needs to be shared. These ideas, these feelings, these emotions, these concepts, I think need to be shared more widely. And I don't really have a ton of people right now who are actively and consistently watching my videos, but someday, hopefully, maybe, there might be, and if I can contribute in any small way to sharing that love and sharing this message, then I would like to. So that's really my personal motivation behind sharing this. But without further ado, this is what I wrote as a comment to her video. And I apologize, I am going to obviously read it, so I don't have it memorized, but this is what I have written. I said, "Hello, Tara. You don't know me, but I need to thank you profoundly for sharing this. I've been watching your content for years now, trying to learn and grow through your insights, and you have long inspired and encouraged me. Few things do so more, though, than when you just get real with us and say it as it is, firmly and unapologetically. I saw your performance of O Holy Night when you released it, and was so touched and inspired by it. But this behind-the-scenes commentary, Tara, I had no idea. Most of us had no idea. And we never would have if you hadn't have told us. In addition to everything you did share with us as context and insight into this video, I want to add this thought, especially as a budding therapist and mental health practitioner. There is so much, so much suffering and pain in this world, and we are hardly aware of 5% of it. We have no idea, and it's because the majority of us do exactly what you tried to do. We do ourselves up, we slap a smile on our face, and we forge on, all the while trying not to break and trying not to show that we are breaking. We try hard as we can not to leak any signs of our suffering, and we manage it with various levels of success. But Tara, it is this exact thing, this very pattern that isolates us in our suffering, because we try so hard to hide it from those who would so willingly be there to support and encourage and uplift. And we look around in our own pain, failing to recognize the pain and suffering of our neighbors, and mistakenly believe that we are the only ones struggling. That, among other things, is why I love this video so much. You took the opportunity, one that you didn't have to take, and that no one forced you to take, to be vulnerable and share the reality of your suffering and struggle uphill for all the world to see. What you did in facing and pushing through your pain and hopelessness during recording was and is remarkable and incredible and inspiring. But in my humble opinion, it pales in comparison to what you just did here. Because you could have kept that to yourself and to your team. That struggle could have remained your own, and the message and lesson and learning and growth and healing and hope, all of that would have remained your own. But you chose instead to share it. And now it can serve as a testimony and a beacon of hope and encouragement and inspiration to all who see this. It's a powerful paradox, but I have a testimony that God is in the paradoxes. We mistakenly believe that it is our own strength that we most encourage, that it is in our strength that we most encourage and inspire those around us. But it isn't. Much rather, it is in how we face and wrestle with difficulty and trial, pain and anguish. It is in our relationship with our own weakness and vulnerability, in our recognition of our dependence on more than what and who we are, left to our own strength, that is what most touches, transforms, and inspires. So thank you, Tara Simon. Thank you for sharing this experience with us. Thank you for being willing to pull back the curtain for a few minutes and challenge the image of pulled together perfection. Thank you for your courage in being vulnerable and raw with us. It is here, in this, that your true strength is most made manifest and resonates with and touches me most profoundly. I am one of those people right now who you looked into the camera and spoke to. I'm one of those people who has struggled uphill fighting the same battles over and over, tired and exhausted, and tempted to give up and walk away. I needed the message you gave us today. I needed the reminder to push even when you don't have the strength in yourself anymore. Because it is in those moments that the only strength you can draw on is God's. And it's in choosing to do so, choosing to take on that external celestial strength, that we, through our choice to rely on God and push, allow Him to transform us into more than we were before. Thank you, Tara, for reminding us of this and providing us with tangible evidence to use in our defense against our own doubt and despair. You truly are a light, Tara, and I pray that you will continue to reject the bushel and rather let the light shine brightly so that it can continue to help those who are lost and lonely find their way home. So that's what I wrote. That's how I felt. And I watched this video just shortly after waking up this morning. So I started my day with it. And I hadn't even really come out of my bedroom at that point. I was just really starting my day. But after having written and sent that comment, I came out and I was walking just in my kitchen here. And my kitchen is what has, I guess, probably the most light. It has the most windows in my apartment. I live in a basement apartment. But the kitchen has the most natural light probably that comes in during the day. And it faces kind of the natural trajectory of the sun the most. And so it gets the most light. And as I was walking, like right after I had written, these thoughts and comments and feelings, I walked in my kitchen and I saw the sun starting to rise. It's kind of early here. Well, it's not too early. It's 8:30 now in the morning, but the sun was just starting to rise, and it was setting this gorgeous orange-pink hue through the sky, and there were just kind of layers of that burnt orange and pink, a little bit of purple maybe kind of mixed in. Gorgeous sunrise. And I thought to myself, you know, this isn't by coincidence. It reminded me of part of the comment that I had just made, or the reflection that I had shared in my comment to Tara here, that so often we think that it is our strength that inspires, and that is the most beautiful, the most memorable, the most remarkable, the most impressive. We think that it's our strength that does that. We think that it's when we're at our peak that we most inspire those around us. And just like I said, it isn't. It isn't. It's in how we struggle. It's in how we come out of those difficult moments. It's our relationship with those moments when we are down. And as I looked at that sunrise, sorry, but the same applies to the sunsets. Isn't that just a beautiful, tangible, metaphoric evidence or example of this? It's not at noonday. It's not at noonday when the sun is, you know, at its peak in the day. That is not when the sun is most beautiful. That is not the sun at its most impressive. The sun is most beautiful when it is coming up out of being hidden, or when it is disappearing into being hidden, or going into a struggle, going into, again, I'm trying to use this metaphor like in our own lives, right, as well. Just kind of looking at it symbolically. But it is when it's being taken out of our view or coming back into our view. It's when we are entering darkness or coming out of darkness. It's those transitionary moments. It's the sun in its relationship to night, in its relationship to darkness. It's that interaction that is most awe-inspiring, that is most beautiful. That's what we go out and photograph. That's what we, wake up super early in the morning and hike a mountain so that we can see. That's what we put in an effort to be there for and to recognize and be a part of. It's the sunrises and the sunsets. We don't do that for noonday. And I think the same is true for each and every one of us. It's not when we're at our peak. It's not in our strength and in our confidence and in our comfort that we most inspire and that we most act as a beacon of light and hope and encouragement and beauty and an inspiration for those around us. It's in the tricky moments, those hard moments. And I think, as follow-up to that, again, another kind of lead-in from this thought with the sunrise, I take that and I circle back to the song, O Holy Night, talking about the night when the Savior was born. That night was not majestic. It was awe-inspiring, and It was touching and everything that it needed to be, but it was not pomp and circumstance. It was a humble birth. Christ's entire life was lived in humility. He came from humble beginnings, and he was tortured and killed. He was born, lived, and died humbly, without majesty. He performed miracles, and a lot of that was, yes, it was impressive, and it was majestic, and it was wonderful. But a lot of those miracles he told people to keep quiet about. Some of them, he allowed people to share because they needed to know, and they needed the hope that would come through those miracles, partially through the miracles. They needed the faith and the hope and the encouragement. But Christ did not ride in on a chariot. He did not save the Jews from Roman captivity and rule like they thought he would. It's a huge part of the reason that the Jewish population to this day doesn't recognize Jesus Christ as their Redeemer and Savior, as the Messiah that was prophesied in Torah. They don't recognize him as that because he didn't come as that. Not the first time. He will come like that the second time. But his mortal ministry wasn't about that. It wasn't about his power and majesty. His mortal ministry was about him going below all so that he could ascend above all. Again, we have the Son, right? And I love how this translates in the English language, because it's not the same. I have a deep and profound love for foreign language and just international language and culture, but it's not the same everywhere. You don't have this in every other language, but in English, at least we have the same pronunciation. It's different spelling, but the same word, just different spelling. Well, not the same word because of the different spelling, but same pronunciation. We have son and son. All right, so we have son as in the male child of parents, and we have son as in the huge star that is at the center of our galaxy, and that gives us day. And so just like the sun descends, well, it actually doesn't move, we're the ones that move, right? But from our perspective, the sun descends over the horizon, disappears, and then comes back and ascends again, to start a new day and to issue in a new era, a new day, a new time. So also the Son of God descended below all, descended below the entire world, so that he could rise again and issue in the coming of a new day, a new era, a new time, a new millennium. But that's really what I think the song was about. Oh, holy night. It's holy not because of how impressive it is, not because of how awe-inspiring it is, or how majestic, or how, again, pomp and circumstance it is. It's holy because of how quiet and humble and understated it is. I have a personal testimony of that, and I won't share that here right now because I feel like it's too personal and too sacred to share. But the most profound and personal experience that I have had with my Savior has been one where I have felt the reality of his unassuming, understated nature. Jesus Christ doesn't need to prove who he is to anybody. He knows. And his very essence, his very presence, his very body, his very character, the countenance of his face, just how he is, everything that he is, speaks to who he is, speaks to his nature, speaks to his mission, speaks to what he did for us and what that makes possible. He doesn't need to announce to the world who he is. Being with him, spending time with him is enough for you to know. If you have a pure enough heart, if you're looking for it, if you want to understand and see, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, it's readily apparent. He doesn't need the recognition or the praise or that's not the point for him. His focus is not on being worshipped. We, through a correct and deep understanding of who he is, we are inspired to worship him because of everything that he did for us, and rightly so. But from his perspective, the thing that he's looking for from us is not our worship. He's looking for us to become, to grow into who we can be, to take all that he did for us, all that he was for us, allow him to show us who we can be, and to pay it forward. He doesn't want us to pay it back. There's no way, hard as we try, that we could ever pay him back. And he doesn't expect that. That's not what he's looking for. Honestly, when we look at gifts, and I think I touched on this in a previous video that I recorded as well, about giving and receiving and just what that dynamic looks like. You actually cheapen the gift by trying to give it back. Because a lot of the value in the gift is in the giving of it. It's the sacrifice, it's the investment, it's the effort. And by choosing not to accept that, you question the value. You reject, to a certain extent, the value of the gift that's being offered to you. And so Christ, he doesn't want us to try to pay him back. He wants us to try to pay it forward. He wants us to take his example, take the way that he lived his life and emulate it, and live likewise, do so likewise to those around us. Take those parts of his character that inspire and touch us and try to take them into ourselves, try to become that. We will never become all that he is. Definitely not in this life. But we have the potential to grow into our own versions of perfection, to become our best selves. And we do that through him and with him, hand in hand. But we do it by looking forward and by looking at how we can serve and help and uplift those around us. And so for me, this is the spirit of Christmas. This is the spirit of that holy night. And I leave it with you today as my message, and invite any thoughts, comments, perspectives that you would like to add. Please share those with me in the comments. I'd love to read them, and I'll look forward to seeing the rest of you. Well, I won't see you, but you'll see me next time. Bye for now.